You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Salimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. If you're interested about KiwiSavers, this is the episode for you. We're going to dive into the whole KiwiSaver, should you not, why not, kids, KiwiSavers, and what happens after you buy your first home and you use your KiwiSaver. Listen up. Hello, James.
Aloha.
Aloha. KiwiSavers, that has been a hot topic for us. We deal with a lot of first-home buyers. They buy a house, they use up their KiwiSaver, and then they go, oh, I'm not going to contribute anymore. What's the point? Because I can't use my KiwiSaver again until I'm 65. What's the problem with that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that what the problem is. It's a real balanced argument because we see it. I mean, I come almost from a financial markets perspective as opposed to a property perspective. So when I see people use up their $100,000 and $150,000 in their first home deposit, a part of me is like, that's awesome. But now they've really got to start getting their KiwiSaver going again. They need to have both things working for them. They need to be paying off their property as fast as they can. This is just my opinion, obviously. Paying off their house as fast as they can and equally building their KiwiSaver back up.
But it's so hard. The cost of living is so high. And people are really struggling to be paying their mortgage, their rates, their insurances, and continuing to contribute to KiwiSaver and paying more on their mortgage than they should to pay it off faster, right? So this is where the real deal is at the moment, that people get into their first home and then they go, crap, I can't contribute anymore. Well, lucky the KiwiSaver rules are changing. From 1st of April, it is increasing to, I think employer contributions are increasing to 4.5%.
Something like that, yeah.
And then over time it will continue to increase like it did in Australia.
Yeah.
But the real issue is if you opt out from your KiwiSaver, then the employer is not contributing either. So you're missing out.
You've got to, I know it's easy for us to say, but
it's not.
You've got to stay, you've just got to find it. Like I find myself getting close to 50, I don't have KiwiSaver. I do have KiwiSaver, but because I've been sort of self-employed last 10 years, and this is what's happening to a lot of sort of tradesmen, people out there that have had their own business their whole lives as sole traders, they are now getting close to the retirement age or close to 60. They don't have a KiwiSaver. And, a lot of those business owners don't actually own that. When they sell their business, they're the business. So their business is not going to provide for their retirement. So we've got all these little nuances within the, we've got to look at each person differently. But if you can...
This is not financial advice, by the way.
It's not financial advice, but it's good. It's reasonably...
As a friend...
Yeah.
If we were your friend, we would say to you, hey, look into your KiwiSaver, start contributing something, because what you're missing out on is your employer contributions of 4.5%, but also the government contributions. Even though the government contributions dropped again, at least it's something that will continue to accumulate interest over the years.
Yeah.
And then we slightly touched behind the scenes around the kids' KiwiSavers. And you mentioned something.
Yeah, well, I can't remember what I mentioned, but I'm sure it was important.
You said that the parents have stopped contributing to their KiwiSavers or setting them up.
Something to do with the contribution the contributions that kids get from the government when they first set them up. There used to be all these incentives when KiwiSaver first started to get KiwiSaver get kids into KiwiSaver. Now a lot of those incentives are not as strong as what they used to be. So you've got a whole lot of New Zealand children who are now disconnecting with their KiwiSaver, which is the worst possible, it's the worst possible result. We want those young people to get into the savings thing as early as possible, because that's how it really works, right? Compound investing over 50 years. My kids are 15 and 14, 17 and 15. My daughter is absolutely, with what we've done with her with KiwiSaver, she is so much front of mind that every time she makes money, she puts it all into a KiwiSaver, and then she comes to us and goes, I want to go out. I don't have any money because I've put it all in my KiwiSaver.
Oof.
And because this is what we've taught her to, but she's gone way too far. She said, don't come and ask me for money. Go and ask somebody else for money.
I love it.
But
this is great. And you just reminded me, my 10-year-old, the second son of mine, he came to me the other day. He goes, Mum, can you open me Shares' account? Because he gets pocket money from his little instructing job at Taekwondo that he does. So he gets, $10, $20 a week. Depends how many hours a week he works. And he gets this pocket money. He comes to me. He goes, can you open Shares' account for kids? And I was like, oh, well, you already have one with Dad. And he goes, yeah, I have one at Dad's. So the week when I'm with Dad and I get paid money there, I'll give it to Dad to put it in, because that's what he's been doing. And now when he's with me, instead of wasting his money on lollies, he realized he could be putting into Shares' account with me.
Yeah.
So I opened him a kid's Shares' account that he cannot touch until he's 18 or 20 or something like
nice.
that. And he can be in control which shares he buys.
Yep.
So he gives me cash, I put the money in there, and it's an exercise for him where he can't draw it back out of it. It's a very, very similar concept, but he will have 2 Shares' account by the time he's 18.
Cool.
And a KiwiSaver.
Excellent. So this is what we sort of want, is a combination of both of those two things. We want our kids to be putting money into KiwiSaver, but we also want them to be doing what you're doing, and that's learning about investing from a young age and learning how it's quite volatile. Because as we spoke to an investment person yesterday, we can see that if you invest money in the markets over the long term, you get a phenomenal return. So yeah, I would really, that's what I'm trying to get my kids to do as well. So they've got KiwiSaver, they're actually building up their own money outside of KiwiSaver. So, and I was actually thinking on the way in here in the car, what if people are so organised, if they start so young that they're into KiwiSaver and they're saving their own money, that they don't have to use KiwiSaver
To buy a house.
to buy a house. They can use their own. I know that's sort of pie in the sky type stuff, but it would be it would be quite a big advantage.
Because to be honest, I truly believe that by the time our kids retire, the pension will be gone. The government will run out of money in one way or the other, or they will just decide that, hey, we shouldn't be paying pension to people that have KiwiSavers, or something.
Might be means tested.
And, might be means tested, like in Australia, I think it's means tested. So you got to have your own back.
Yeah.
And that's what I always believed in, that you can't rely on the government, you can't rely on things. The only person you can rely on is you.
Yeah.
And what can you do to change your life for the better?
And I think that's a really important point. Like, why don't stop contributing to KiwiSaver because the government take away the incentives. Do you know what I mean? For your kids. You know what I mean? Just don't rely on the government. Whatever the government does shouldn't be really directing your
So the
decisions.
other tip and trick I usually say to people that say to me, oh, but I don't have any spare money to put into the kids' account. So, well, make it birthday money. Make it Christmas money. Kids don't need more crap in the house, honestly. You don't need to buy them more flash toys, more cars, Lego sets that you're going to step on. Buy them less stuff. But put money into the investments, even $20, even $50. That makes a huge difference. If the grandparents want to give you a present for your kids, tell them, hey, look, how about you put that into the KiwiSaver? That will have a return of tenfold over time.
And you could do a percentage of every lot of money that you get, either from working or as a gift, depends on the kid. But 50% could be for yourself, 50% could be for investing. I think in my family, my daughter's doing 30% into KiwiSaver, 30% into Sharesies, and then 10% spending, because they don't have a lot of costs. And now's the time to do it when you're living in somebody else's house, living in eating all their food.
$5 a week. $5 a week. That's all you got to put sometimes. You don't have to put much.
Yeah, and it's just the habit. It's the starting the habit of we're putting money aside for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. James, thank you so much for that. So just a quick recap, quick message for those out there. If you've bought a house and you stopped contributing to KiwiSaver, please don't. If there is any way for you to get back on the train, do. But do reevaluate what fund you're in, because the fund you were in before you bought a house is not probably the fund you want to be in for the long term. Again, speak to a specialist and we can push you up to the specialist if you need to. And then for those that have children, start them young, start investing now. And for those that are nearing retirement, do review your KiwiSaver funds as well, because you don't want to get caught out by losing out on your money unnecessarily. So here we go. Thank you so much for listening in. See you next time. And that's a wrap on That Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.